What's happening, everyone? It's the football therapist here, coming out with you with a little bit of a draft tip. I know there's a lot of fantasy football drafts going on right now. We're in the mix of things, and I'm going to really talking about what to do at the back end of the draft. Of course, at the top end, we know who we're going with early: Christian McCaffrey, Barkley, Alvin Kamara, Zeke. But it's very important to note that on the back end, I feel it's almost impossible to pass up on a two running back strategy because it thins out at that 3.12 and 4.1. So let's start this. Of course, we're doing it with sleeper bots. It may not go how ADP tells us it's going to go. Zeke would never go before Dalvin Cook, in my opinion. We're going to see here we got a very good 3 or 4 running backs here that we could grab. And it's important that we grab at least one, if not 2, because wide receivers is so deep. And I'm going to show you how deep it gets once we get to that 3rd round. So I'm going with my guy, Joe Mixon, and I'll grab Austin Eckler. To me, those are 2 guys that could put up top 10 numbers every single week. You could go with a Kenyon Drake there. You could go with a Nick Chubb. Both are safe to me, but those are 2 guys that I would love to go with. Now, looking at the draft board, we're getting to the end of the 3rd round, and this running back pool is just thinning out. We're going to pause it here, and we're going to show you how thin it gets. So if you would have taken one running back, you would have had to rely on Le'Veon Bell as your RB2, which I am completely fading right now. He's not been looking good in camp. Melvin Gordon is an intriguing option, but there's not really many running backs here who stand out to me as an RB2 every single week. Taylor I like, but I think it'll be some time before he gets that starting job. Ingram is very efficient, but J.K. Dobbins could take touches. Singletary is a flex to me at best, so you'd be really depleted at that RB2 spot. But now that we went with 2 running backs, we should look at the wide receivers. We see DJ Moore, top 10 potential. Odell Beckham, wide receiver 1 potential. So even though we didn't draft a wide receiver with our first 2 picks, we have plenty of guys here who can make an impact. Calvin Ridley. So to me, it's almost important to get those first 2 running backs at the end of your draft boards. It doubles up and ensures that you have 2 quality starting running backs every single week. Let's resume it. Let's take the 2 wide receivers here that I think have wide receiver 1 potential. Again, I may or may not be picking these guys in my drafts. There are some other guys that I like, and I may have wanted to go with a running back there to get my 3rd RB, but I'm showing a nice balanced strategy. And just to show you guys why, even though going 2 running backs to start your draft, it could get you 2 quality wide receivers. So here we could go David Montgomery, a guy who's a little bit hurt, but as a flex, not bad. Wide receivers, you still have some quality options. But looking at the draft board, let's pause it real quick. If we didn't get those 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds, David Montgomery, he's a quality RB2, but with his injury, there's a lot more risk. Swift, he's hurt too, a lot of risk. There's not many guys that would be quality for an RB2 in my opinion here. Or if you're punting it all together, I don't like that strategy. I would not wait to take a running back at this position. So in these back half of the rounds, for your first 2 picks, try to grab 2 stud running backs. I feel like that's the best way to go this year. Thank you for listening, and see you guys soon.